Hello, my name's Jasper, welcome back to Buckle Up, and this is the Toyota Yaris Hybrid Premier Edition, and today I'm going to find out if it's any good. We'll start around the front, where I think it's fair to say for such a small car, the Yaris Hybrid has quite a lot of presence on the road. That's mainly due to this large gloss black plastic grille design. You do have some nice darkened chrome sections, lovely bits of gloss black plastic around the extremities of the bumper, and this whole sculpted section, it looks really quite good. These headlamp clusters look pretty mean. They're full LEDs and you've got this lovely daytime running light stripe underneath the individual LED elements. Fog lights recess down into these sculpted sections, and you have all-round parking sensors on this particular trim level. I love the sculpting in this bonnet and the way your Toyota badge just neatly rests at the base of it. As we start to move around to the side, you'll see these lovely, very premium 17-inch diamond cut alloy wheels. I think they look very nice, and I love the way they are positioned right at the corners, in the extremities of this car. The Yaris really makes use of the space available within its wheelbase by positioning the wheels very much in each corner, so you've got a lot to play with in the middle. While we're here, it's worth noting this absolutely gorgeous bright blue paintwork. This is a bi-tone colour option, so you've got blue bodywork and your blacked in roof and gloss black folding door mirrors with your indicator integrated into them. It's a relatively small car and there's not really that much going on at the side. You've got a little bit of a side skirt down here, and this model does have keyless entry, so I can lock and unlock the car by popping my thumb on that touchpad here or giving the door handle a tug if I've got the key in my pocket. You do have rear doors. They are very small. This is a small car, but it is important to note that yes, you do have 5 doors, which makes it more practical. As we move towards the back of the vehicle, you'll see a little bit of a powerful haunch in the rear quarter panel. That is obviously where your wheel sits out quite wide and your body begins to suck in. I love the design at the rear of the car, the way your light clusters merge into this lovely bit of gloss black plastic that works its way across the boot. That says Yaris on this side and it says HEV on this side. Around here you do have your fuel filler flap. A couple of other things to note at the back: you do have a reversing camera just above your number plate, you've got parking sensors, and I do like this little boot spoiler that sits over the top of your rear windscreen. If we pop open this boot, you'll be greeted with a not class leading but not horrendous 286 litres of load space. Now this is a relatively practical shape, it's pretty boxy, it's not the tallest of spaces, but you do have a very substantial false floor. That makes it a completely flat load lip, so my camera gear can be slid in and out very nicely, and underneath this false floor you do have quite a bit more space. There's also a subfloor, and if I lift that up I'm greeted with my tyre repair kit and compressor. There's a bit of foam in what would be a spare wheel well back here. Other than a carrier bag hook moulded into the plastic casing of the boot over here and a lamp on this side, there are literally no other features in the boot back here. You do have a reasonable load cover though, so you can at least cover up the 286 litres of luggage you've put in here. Let's see what the seats are like. Now, it is something of a rare occurrence for me to be somewhat critical of the space in the back of a car, but the Yaris is, unfortunately, one of those cases. So I am behind my own driver's position, and yes, I do currently have legroom. However, if the driver were taller, as most people are, I would cease to have legroom, and I'd actually really struggle to get my feet in because the opening between the door and the seats is not very large. Now, headroom is also a department where I'm beginning to struggle, so I can actually sit up and put my head against the roofline of this car. So this is really a passenger space that is designed for 2 smaller adults and 2 smaller children. Yes, there is a middle seat here, but it's raised further than these outer seats, so yeah, my head would definitely be touching the ceiling if I was sitting there, and the car's not particularly wide, so you'd struggle for shoulder room. You'd have to jostle in. In terms of features, there is actually very little back here. I do have a door pocket, which will take a reusable bottle of water. There aren't any charging ports or any air vents to speak of in the middle down here. There is a map pocket on the back of the passenger seat, and there are ISOFIX points with annoyingly removable plastic covers over them, so both of these outer seats will take a child seat, but don't lose the covers. You've got 3 headrests but no armrest in the centre, and yes, you've got a proper seat belt, but as mentioned before, this middle seat is not very wide, it's raised. You're going to struggle to get 3 people back here, especially if they are all adults. Footroom you'd begin to struggle with as well. There's a little bit of a hump in the centre, but it's the fact that I'm very conscious that if I were any taller, I'd struggle to sit behind myself, and I really wouldn't be comfortable for a long journey. This is the thing, this is ultimately more of a city car, so yeah, you can squeeze into it for shorter journeys, but you're not going to want to do a long motorway stint in the back of this. That being said, the material on the seats is lovely. You've got a mixture of faux leather, kind of textured fabric and flat sections of fabric. It's very supportive. I do think they are relatively comfortable. It's more the space that becomes a problem with this as opposed to a lack of comfortable materials. The material on the door cards does feel pretty cheap. They're relatively solid, but they are kind of quite thin and hollow sounding. So yeah, it's well assembled, but it feels relatively cheap in here. Let's go and check out the front. Now, while the back seats in this car are pretty sparse, the front seats definitely do have a lot more about them, especially with this being the Premier Edition, which is top spec. Up here, I've got a massive pair of digital displays. My driver's cluster is huge, really impressive graphics on that. And then in the top trims, you get this new 10.3-inch infotainment system, which has incredible graphics on it. It's really crisp, really clear, very vibrant colors, and it's a really slick and easy to use system, a much better one than in the lower trim levels and pre-facelift Yaris. I appreciate the fact you've got a physical volume knob underneath that, and you've got physical climate controls, which is so nice to see. Dual zone up here, and then a row of proper buttons underneath those for your fan speed, your directional flow, and for turning on your heated rear screen and wing mirrors, and for sending all of the airflow to your front screen. You've got a pair of USB Type-C ports beneath this, as well as a wireless Qi charging pad and a 12-volt socket. Down here you've got your traditional gear selector, and then just underneath that, buttons for your drive mode selection, traction control off, and enabling the EV mode, as well as auto hold and your electronic handbrake. Just behind those, a pair of cup holders, which do take a reusable bottle of water. This also fits nicely in the door card. And then I've also got a lovely little armrest, which has got a comically small and shallow cubby holder in it, but that is a really nice position, and it's a very comfortable driving position as well. The seat is lovely and comfortable, and it's got the same textured fabric and faux leather as you get in the back, but up front you get some contrast blue stitching. That ties in very nicely with your blue element in your door card, and the materials up here are substantially more nice to touch than the ones in the back, but it doesn't particularly feel any more expensive. You've just got a few different textures here instead. The dashboard is nice and rubberized. You've got a shelf to put things on underneath this top level here, and then your glove box is actually pretty decent for the size of car. It is damped, but it is not felt lined, but then again, it's all right. For a city car, the space in here is pretty practical. I really like the design of the cabin. This feels very modern. It sits nice and high up, but it still doesn't obstruct my view of the road. My steering wheel has got a range of physical buttons on it. The stalks behind the steering wheel are kind of old-fashioned, but they have a very satisfying clunk to them. They feel very solid, and that's kind of the running theme in here. While it's not the most expensive or nicely decked out of interiors, it does all feel very solid and very dependable, and I really do love the infotainment system. The seat is manually adjustable, and it does have electric lumbar support, and I've got a heads-up display in this car, which is brilliant at conveying the really important bits of information to me. And I really do appreciate that, because I found the digital driver's cluster to be a little bit too busy in terms of what it tries to show you. That's generally enough about the interior, so let's go and see how it drives. Okay, so when driving the Yaris Hybrid, let's talk about that hybrid bit. This is Toyota's eCVT system, and it is quite frankly probably one of the best hybrid systems available on the market. And that's because you've got a reasonably sized battery pack and a pair of motor generators. The first motor generator is quite a small one, and what that's used to do is start the engine and recuperate energy and put it into the battery pack. The second motor generator is really where the fun starts, because that is used to drive the wheels via a planetary gear set. Your engine can also drive the wheels directly, or your engine can be used to charge up the battery. At its peak, this car has 130 PS and about 185 Newton meters of torque, both of which are fine numbers for this class of car, and it means that you can propel yourself forwards from 0 to 62 miles an hour in the Yaris Hybrid in a sprightly 9.2 seconds. If you go for a car with a lower specification, the power output of this setup does decrease to 116 PS and your torque drops a little bit as well. Your 0 to 62 time also increases to 9.7 seconds. So if you want the faster one, you've got to get one of the top trim levels. What happens is the engine and that second motor generator shuffle power about between themselves to propel you forwards, and you get a really nice blend of performance and torque, but incredibly efficient driving. With careful application of the throttle, it is very possible in normal driving circumstances to easily achieve north of 60 miles to the gallon in this car. The engine under the bonnet is a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder normally aspirated petrol engine. That thrums away when you are demanding a little bit more from the car, but in normal driving circumstances it's a pretty quiet presence. The engine note can seem a little bit strained if you put your foot down, and you do have a little bit of that stereotypical CVT whine, but because of this electronic element to the system, it's nowhere near as pronounced as CVTs of old, which can only, quite frankly, be a good thing. If you put your foot down, the engine definitely does rev up and become quite a prominent presence in the cabin, but thankfully with this revised powertrain, especially this 130 PS model, you do actually get a decent wedge of performance to go alongside it. Now, I wouldn't say it feels fast, but it definitely feels sprightly enough given the size and relatively low weight of the car. Now, the Yaris, when it comes to handling, is definitely a car that I would describe as safe. It feels safe, it feels sturdy, it feels well planted on the road. For such a small vehicle, you'd think it weighed more than it does. It feels very solid on the road. It holds itself relatively well within corners, and it does have pretty firm suspension, which helps with that. Now, the downside of that firm suspension and this model having those larger alloys does mean that you actually get a surprising amount of road noise coming through to the cabin. This is a car that, when you're driving at speed, you don't notice the engine noise, you notice the road noise and you notice the wind noise. It's not a particularly quiet cabin at motorway speeds. The steering is relatively vague on centre, but if you turn it past that, it feels relatively direct and there's a smidge of communication, but this is not a driver's car. You should not be under any illusion that this is a kind of driver-focused vehicle. It really isn't. It is a dependable and reliable vehicle, and that's because it's a Toyota. And with that, you can get a 10-year warranty if you are servicing this car at a Toyota dealership. It rides well, it drives fine, and ultimately, that's what you're asking of a car like this. A great thing about the Yaris is the amount of tech and safety tech you get in this car. This is fully loaded with fully adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist that will literally keep you smack bang in the centre of your lane. It's very easy to do a long distance dual carriageway or motorway drive in this car. It looks after you incredibly well. Blind spot monitoring, full parking sensors, a reversing camera that does look like it was made in the mid-2010s, but it's a reversing camera nonetheless, and then this screen and this digital driver's cluster are brilliant. If you throw in the excellent hybrid system, it's a pretty complete package apart from a couple of little areas. The first of which is heated seats. You can't get them, and that's annoyed me, quite frankly. I think if you're buying a car in 2025, you should be able to get one that has heated seats. The other thing that slightly wound me up is the fact that if you want this brilliant digital driver's cluster and this excellent infotainment screen that looks brilliant and is so easy to use, it's such a good system. If you want those, you have to get one of the high-spec cars, and if you're getting one of the high-spec cars, you're pushing towards 30 grand. £29,000. And yeah, okay, nobody really cares about the cash price of a car anymore because most cars are bought on PCP finance, but even with Toyota's relatively low finance rates and good deals that are available, it's still quite a lot of money to be spending monthly to get what is a very small car. And yes, it will be incredibly fuel efficient, but you're going to have to be doing a lot of miles for that increase in monthly cost in terms of finance to be offset by the fuel savings you'll get over something like, say, an MG3 Hybrid Plus. So I do really like this car. It's very dependable, very solid. It will get you there, but you've got to pick and choose your trim level, and if you want the powerful drivetrain and the good tech, you do have to spend a bit more money than the base price. Because the Yaris range starts from £23,000, and at that price it is a really compelling purchase. So the Yaris Hybrid, it's a sensible, stylish and more importantly dependable small car that, yeah, you'll fit your stuff in, and if you really like how this looks, go and test drive one because I have a feeling you won't be disappointed. This is absolutely one of the most efficient super minis you can buy, and there's a very good reason for that. The powertrain that runs it is incredibly impressive. I do think you've got to pick and choose which trim you go for, because models like this top spec one are not quite as good value as one of the lower spec trims, but go and have a poke around and see what works best for you if you're interested in the Yaris. That is everything for today's video, so please like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. There are a few different ways you can support the Buckle Up YouTube channel, all of which are linked in the video description. All of our social media, please do go and follow us there, or our merch store, again, down there in the video description. Go and buy something with a Buckle Up logo slapped on it. If you'd like to support us here on YouTube, we do offer channel memberships too. So that is everything for me and the Toyota Yaris. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.